It is another Monday. We are excited to speak to your soul, our soul. It is good to address our soul. So today, I have this wonderful friend here, Janet, and we're going to converse, and we're going to talk about toxic people or a toxic soul. And it is good for us to look into it because I've realized that toxicity is draining, rusting, and bruising our society generally, from work to church to family to individual relationship, even to your own self. If you're a toxic person, you really injure yourself more. So I would like to invite you just to say hi as we talk about toxic people, not relationship people.
I say hi.
So maybe define for us what do we mean by saying toxic, and toxic first.
Okay. Wow, soul to soul insights, soul to soul weekly. We thank God for this session, and today we are discussing this toxic person. And when we say a toxic person is basically a person who brings out the worst in you, a person who destroys you mentally, emotionally, socially, a person who's an energy vampire, an energy sucker. As in, every time you're around them, something in you lives. There's just something in you that lives. Something good, not something bad.
They dampen you. They make you dull, doubt yourself, and you regret.
Yeah.
Or
you ask yourself.
Actually, you live there feeling a lot of pain.
Especially if you've not done, self-work. You get out of there feeling, now why did I have to meet this person? And it's not once. Every time you meet with that person, you feel that way. That is a toxic person.
So maybe to ask you as a counselor, what makes somebody to be toxic? What are the factors that make somebody to be toxic? Because is it nature? Is it nurture?
I've done my research about toxic, and I would say it is basically nurture. People are toxic because of unhealed wounds. People who haven't healed themselves out of traumas, out of situations, out of poor childhood, out of complicated or disturbed marriages, disturbed former relationships, or even current. If such a person does not deal with the issues or did not deal with the issues, or is not even willing to deal with the issues that they are going through, they become toxic.
And maybe people who made wrong decisions in life, they are regretting, and instead of regretting towards themselves, they project the regret.
Actually, they project
the regret, they project the failure. They tend to think, I think they want everybody to be at the same level as they are, and they wonder why people are not going through the same thing they are going through.
And you see, one thing about toxicity, you've just mentioned something. Misery loves company. So they want to recruit more people to their cocoon. And that's why they are very good in spreading negativity. And these people sense the energy that you're carrying. If you're that negative energy, they just connect you to their cocoon. Na munaendelea
nafikiri uko sawa, kumbe umeingishwa kwa box ya misery ya mtu fulani,
na huyu mtu ako na uchungu zake, lakini amekosa kuaddress.
Another funny thing I've noticed about toxic people, they are so loud.
Very.
They are very loud. You see them in social media, you see them in life. They are very loud,
and you may mistake them to be social
or bold.
Actually, you may think they are extroverted, or even bold, courageous people, but in the real sense, they are hiding. They are hiding.
They are masking.
And actually, this week I was just pondering, and I thought, there are these people who are very loud on social media, commenting negatively on things, interacting on, can I say, engaging personal talks on social media, talks that maybe they are talking about someone, indirect talks, those are toxic people. This week, that is just something that came to my mind. But a person who is aware of themselves, they are very measured. Very major.
And they know where to take their issues.
Yes.
You don't scatter issues all over. And you make a lot of noise unnecessarily. Yeah.
And when you see two people who are different in can you say personality? Two people who are different in their goals in life, too close together, toxicity.
Yeah.
Most of the time it is toxicity spreading. Yeah, they have a meeting point. They may not meet in education, maybe not at work, maybe not family, but now they meet in the toxic.
Even their personality, their social stratum is different, but there's something that clocks them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe to ask you, Janet, what are some of the signs that you can point out so that people, we talk about toxic, mtu ni toxic, mtu ni toxic. What are some of the signs that we might want to share with people in this show so that they can address these issues?
Okay, first, a toxic person can never take correction. For them, correction is they're being accused,
or challenged,
or I can say they're being accused, challenged, or they're being condemned. You see, when you try to correct someone and they take it negatively every time. That is one sign that someone is toxic. And unfortunately, most of us are like that. We can't take correction. Even something that someone just meant it for your good. Just telling you something, correct this, and then you take it personally. Again, they never appreciate anything from anyone else. You can rarely hear a compliment from a toxic person. Yeah? And especially this side now, mostly, let me just narrow down, women. They can never compliment you. Even if 100 people are complimenting you,
they keep quiet.
They would rather remain silent.
Or ignore. Or make sarcasm remarks like, nafikiria ni yeye peke yake.
Things like that. You see, that is toxicity. But you may assume that this person does not care about how people dress, how people what. We've said earlier that it's good to appreciate people.
Yeah.
Again, they like taking advantage of other people. So when you relate with a toxic person, they benefit more from you.
They sap.
Like how we talk of energy, like a vampire. They sap.
So you'll find you're the one calling them, you're the one visiting them, you're the one buying them for lunch, you're the one treating them. Yeah.
And they would never care.
Yeah.
There's something about being a human being that tells you, hey, huyu naye amekununulia lunch sana, it's your turn. A toxic person does not recognize that. So they will just take in. They feed, but they cannot bring out. And I don't know, because so many people associate with such kind of people. Until the good thing is, mtu anakanga hivi anasema, no, this one is too much. I know this person is toxic.
When they want something from you, that is the only time they'll call you.
Yes, they are manipulative. They are manipulative. And you'll realize, actually, when they want something from you, they will look for you. In fact, when you see this missed calls, ni ashida. It's just they want to borrow me something, they want to have something from me,
or they want your company,
when they are bored, you are the person that they can.
And then one thing I discovered about toxic people, again, another sign is they put you kwa list uko mwisho. You're not a priority, because when it comes to, you discover wakikuwa na events, you're never informed. They go out with other people, they leave you. When they're making decisions, you're out, completely out.
Major decisions.
Yeah, you hear from people. And then you discover, I have put this person as a priority, but they have not put me. I don't know, I noticed that also about toxicity.
It's true. Because
if I'm toxic to you, we hang out a lot. Then you discover I'm flying out and I've not told you.
Oh my God.
I have building a house and I've told other people. Then people are like, si mnakwanga na Janet, mbona hakukwambia? Ama mnakwanga na Vivian, mbona hajakwambia? So you find you are left behind.
And the problem is now, at that point, they would say that they didn't want to invite you because you're not a good person. Are you getting? And you relate. But at this point, they don't realize it's their part to heal of other issues. So anasema Vivian unaona ni mbaya, that's why sikumuita. But in the real sense ni hao ndo wako na shida. Probably they are jealous, probably they have issues with you yet they relate with you. So unaona toxicity vile ni mbaya.
Ni mbaya sana.
I have issues with you but I relate with you.
Another thing, maybe it's gossip.
Oh my God.
Toxic. Never. Even something that you'll have the capacity to handle, you'll find that they always inform a third party behind your back. And then people are like, Janet alisema hivi, now you wonder, I was with Janet. Ama Vivian alisema hivi, now you wonder, say I was with Vivian. So they will always find a group to talk negatively about you.
So they delight in putting you down in a group. Mob psychology against you. It's very true. Fun
enough, they go to people who have similar feelings, negative feelings, so they put that energy together, talk behind you. They can talk behind you for hours. I read somewhere that people like gossiping you because when they talk about their stories, nobody will listen, so they just have to talk about you so that somebody has to listen. Because when I sit here and I am not talking about myself, and if I'm toxic, I will not talk about myself. I'll make sure I talk about somebody else.
And by then, you see, they have nothing good about themselves. Because when you're building negative energy within yourself, there is nothing productive you can do. You cannot go forward. So there is nothing about you worth talking about.
Maybe another sign, they have what we call fits of rage, just to intimidate you and put you down. Toxic people
they are passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive, and sometimes when you go to them, they retaliate in a way that they don't want you to touch them, to touch the inner.
Defensive.
And the inner part is the one that is broken. The inner part is the one that is crying for healing. Yet if you want to apply some pressure on them, they become very they have fits of rage, fits of anger.
And then again, something about them is that they expect blind loyalty. You are loyal to them, but they are not loyal to you. And true. When you give them the equalizer, it hurts them.
It's very interesting when somebody calls you, you call somebody, they don't pick the phone. When they call you, don't pick the phone, they feel bad. Somebody does not want to greet you. When you give them the equal measure, they feel like mbona kunisalimia. Actually, they expect blind loyalty. I think they overrate themselves so much. They think they are
if they don't pick your call, you would understand. Why can't you understand?
I was busy, I was sleeping.
But if it was them, no, you must be pointing at something. There's something cooking.
Interesting.
And then of course they hate people who set boundaries. So a boundary would be interpreted as pride, arrogance, bloated ego, and things like that. So the moment you see that you have boundaries and someone is not happy with those boundaries,
with those boundaries,
then they are not your people. They are toxic people.
And then one thing I've realized about toxic people or a toxic soul, you are just good, but they have very negative words concerning you. They'll never see the good in you.
Nothing. Absolutely not.
Your actions,
even the very small things. I was talking to someone and then they were telling me everyone was complimenting someone. Unfortunately, this toxicity is mostly the ladies. They were complimenting someone the way they look good, and she had tied a bun in her hair. So the toxic person pointed out, but kauzi kanaonekana. You get
interesting.
And the person was looking so good.
99.9.
Kabisa hata hakuna mtu aliona uzi. But this was it. Kauzi kanaonekana. Then I knew this is negative energy.
And then another thing, they always wait for you to fail.
Oh yeah.
They wait for you not to progress. They sit in their position. Actually, they have already failed. They are regretting. So they keep on wishing that I long for the day Janet will also come
to pattern in the same level. They are enemies of progress.
Enemies of progress, enemies of success. And they would always, if you want to do something, you see this kind of friend who you have an idea and every time they puncture the idea. You balloon your idea, they prick. You balloon the idea, they prick. They are not supportive.
They don't even see your vision.
Yeah, toxic people are also successful people. You can go to somebody to be a mentor and then he completely refuses because now he doesn't want you to progress. He doesn't want you to catch up. Yeah, very interesting.
Wow. Hey, okay.
What else do you have to
silent
say?
Treatment? Yeah, silent treatment. I guess we all know what silent treatment is. And you see, we talked about, I think, jealousy. We talked about self-esteem. A person who has a healthy self-esteem cannot be toxic. They are contented. They are okay. They
process issues okay well
within themselves. You know, there's no way I'll have a healthy self-esteem and I be toxic. So low self-esteem leads to toxicity again. So you may point out a trait now, looking at that angle, as one characteristic is low self-esteem. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe just to come to a closure of this whole session about toxicity, I'll ask you, how do you deal with toxic people so that you can remain whole? Because somehow toxic people they have effects on you, and they affect. How do you deal if you discover now I have a toxic husband, a toxic manager, a toxic friend, a toxic sibling, toxicity around you?
You just mentioned that, and I thought about something like gaslighting. Is also a point of toxicity and manipulation at that. Now, the thing is, first you have to point out the toxicity, the trait that is pointing at toxicity. You have to tell someone, no, the way you keep telling me about my negative side, don't I have a positive side? You cannot just say, I don't want to associate with this person. You're not helping them. You see, we are talking about helping each other and helping them until a point you deem that they cannot be helped. So first, point that out. You know, toxic people think they have not been realized. No one notices because it is very subtle. So they think no one notices. Point out and say, no, I do not like this negativity, your criticism. I don't like that you manipulate me. When I come up with an issue, you are always bringing it back to me. Number 2, set boundaries. Of course, pointing out is a form of setting boundaries, but you set boundaries as to how you'd want to be treated. You see, any relationship, be it a friendship, be it a marriage, be it a work relationship, you have to set boundaries. And when you speak out, you're telling this person how to treat you. The saddest thing is most toxic people do not want help. They are always defensive. And so if it reaches a point where this person does not want help, and they continue to push you into toxicity, what do? You keep off.
Okay. Maybe another thing is now to know and identify early so that you do not become a victim of cycle. And then also you need to heal. There's the issue of trauma bonding.
Oh yeah.
You might be having issues with yourself and you're seeking approval. You think, if I lose this person, I can't live. If I let go of this person, life will not go on. You know, they manipulate you. They manipulate you. They bully your thoughts so that you feel like life cannot go on without them.
And you know that, especially in a marriage relationship, it's hard to leave a toxic person.
They make sure marriage or life cannot go on. You cannot live without them. Yet you are just an adult of sound mind. I think it's good to begin to appreciate who you are, and also to build healthy boundaries and relationship, and also to notice these things early. To notice these things. Be watchful, be keen on nonverbals, be keen on action, be keen on words they use,
and point them out. Even when you're dating, be keen on them and point them out. And if the other person tells you also that you're being toxic by this, with the traits and more that we've mentioned, then be easy of heart to learn. and apologize and move on, because otherwise you're building the circle. Being too defensive is toxicity. And then we'd tell everyone, because our this show, Soul to Soul Insights or Soul to Soul Weekly, is about helping us to become better people. We still call us to self-awareness, learning about your strengths, learning about your weaknesses. The strengths that you can, the weaknesses that you can change, then you can change. Be easy of heart to change. Don't always be defensive.
Wow, interesting. As we talk to Janet, I'll wrap up maybe with this example. A toxic person carries the poison. He bites you with that poison. The poison will poison you, but it will not poison the person. For example, a snake. A snake carries venom. That venom does not kill the snake, but that when a snake bites a person or an animal, it kills. So beware that toxicity is poisonous. Toxicity can damage, toxicity can kill and destroy, and I've seen it destroying a lot of people. So this week, take time and remove any poison, be it a word, be it a friend, be it an occurrence in your life. Come out, open up and heal.
And heal.
Yeah, open up and heal. And I think that will be helpful to your soul. So thank you so very much. I'm Vivian Kibeu.
I'm JSK Mental Health.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.